Hi, and welcome to today's workshop. Does your content drive your revenue? Today we were looking at the impact that strategic content can have on your bottom line. And we're privileged today to have with us Lucy Griffiths. Lucy is an income strategist and coach, and she knows a lot about working more and making less from the content that we've had. She's the author of Making Money While You Sleep, and she helps small business owners turn what they know into digital courses and memberships. So Lucy's spent 20 years working in TV journalism. She's reported from Asia and the Middle East, and she's interviewed prominent world leaders and A-listers from US President Barack Obama to Angelina Jolie. So she's got an amazing business that she set up, and she's a single parent who takes great care of her son. So I'm happy to welcome on board Lucy. Lucy, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Great to be here.
Wonderful to have you. You've always been such fantastic energy and just a great smile. It's just a killer to start off with.
Oh, thank you.
So Lucy, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit and how you got to being such a prominent coach for training courses and content, how you got into the content side of things.
So as you mentioned, I used to work as a journalist. So before I was, really working in journalism. And when my son was born, that kind of working didn't really work for me anymore. I had some health issues, and I knew that I didn't want to spend weeks away from my son. I wanted to be really present for him. So it's like, okay, what do I do? How do I make some money and be at home? And so I sort of went on a journey. From that, I was, doing some coaching from home and working with people, helping them to be camera confident. And I was working one-to-one with people. But then I'd be going out doing long days of filming. And again, that didn't really work with childcare and everything else. So I created my first course in 2017. And that went on to sell about 50,000 courses, called Confident on Camera. And people kept asking me, how do you do this? And so from that, I started showing people how you can do it too. And it's been a sort of evolution from there. And during the pandemic, I wrote my book, Make Money While You Sleep. And teaching, and it has all the framework of how you can make courses and build memberships and create that recurring income. But once you've built your course or you've built your membership, you need to create those income streams from that. You need to be selling it. And so while you can make social media posts and be talking about it, there are other ways that you can do it. So you build the infrastructure and you build that sales machine to sell it, or you build a lead machine. Mm-hmm. So you're getting leads to then sell it on the back end secretly through email. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Excellent. So before we go into that and look into that in more depth, what motivates you to bring all this knowledge to your audience and to people like simple solopreneurs or small businesses that are looking to get in? What is your driving force in that?
So I think I've seen things that are so complicated, and I certainly have gone down various rabbit holes of, spending thousands on coaches and like big complicated launches where, you'd have all this stress of being like doing a challenge for a week and training people that way. And it was really, really stressful. And I just realized that it just didn't work with childcare, and it was so stressful. And I've had friends and clients who have done big launches, made lots of money, but then they can't launch again for a year. Or I've got a friend who didn't launch for 3 years. She basically shut down her business because she almost had a nervous breakdown. And it was so stressful. And actually, you don't need, if you make an easy system, which is using email, then you don't need to have all of that stress. You can just sort of quietly launch. And so you're still making money, but without the stress and the impact of it. And so, for me, I'm all about creating easy systems, because I try and work about 4 hours a day. My son, I sort of have a quite tight window of when my son's the windows of school hours, and so I try and work about 4 hours a day. And if you make it easy, then and have streamlined systems, then it's possible to do that.
Yeah, I think that's so, aside from being commendable, I think that's so important in today's times, where we tend to get caught up in the hustle bustle of our work and work environment. And family often takes a backseat, and you really put them forward, and you found the formula. And I think to help get people over the line and to help people avoid that stress, it's just fantastic. And today I think we're going to look a little bit at how to do that on your YouTube channel, how to monetize the YouTube channel, and look into Instagram as well. Okay, excellent. So looking forward to go take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's making it as easy as possible. And so we're going to start. Let me just bring up my little slides.
Yeah, just while you're doing it, I'm just going to tell the audience, just feel free and to post your questions into the chat, and we'll bring your questions up for Lucy. If you have any questions, post them to the chat. We'd really be happy to hear from you, and we appreciate you joining us today.
Okay, so we are looking at, does your content drive your revenue? Because so often with social media, we can spend hours creating all of this content for whichever platform you use, and it doesn't actually have an impact on our bottom line. And at the end of the day, we're, as business owners, in the business of making money. And so if you're doing social media, but it's not really driving you the results you are wanting, then maybe it's time for a rethink and to change the way that you create content. Okay, so we are going to rethink that, because I know how frustrating it is when you are getting eyeballs on the content, but you're not getting the kind of reach that you want. You're not getting the responses you want, the engagement you want. And it can be really frustrating. And, I know so many people who feel like this. So if you feel like, oh, that's me, you are not alone. But there is a much simpler system to use that is 10 times more effective than social media. And I'm just wondering, can you guess what it is? It's super simple. It's been around for as long as the internet's been around, I think. And people think it's dead, but it's really not. It is email. And email generates $36 for every dollar spent, compared to $2.80 generated for every pound spent on social media. So the revenue attached to email, the return on investment, is huge. And the great thing about email is that you can write emails, they can be set up, they can be automated. I have an email system and a sequence of emails for a quiz that I wrote in 2019, and it still generates me about $500 a week. And, I reread the emails and I thought, oh my goodness, those emails are from my life in 2019, but it was still generating me revenue. And that's the great thing about email. So we're going to talk through ways that you can do this really easily, because email is a consistent way to connect with people and sell. Now, you might be thinking, what has this got to do with video? But stick with me, because I promise it's connected. And there's an easy way to do this. And that is, first of all, we're going to look at making money from YouTube. Okay, so we're going to go and look at YouTube. I'm going to just press escape and we're going to go to YouTube. So I'm going to just share my YouTube channel. Would love to connect with you there. It's lucygriffiths.com. Now, on my YouTube channel, I do this with a lot of my videos, and so you can do it with your videos too. And you can basically use YouTube as a way to be generating leads. Now, if you haven't got a YouTube channel, I'm just going to talk through the purpose of YouTube, because if you think about it, YouTube is owned by Google. So when you type a question into Google, you think 90% of the world, 95% of the world uses Google to ask a question. So whatever question you may ask, how to bake a cake, what should I use castor oil for, or whatever it may be. So whether it's about health, whether it's about your business, whether it's about your life, you type a question into Google. And so when you type that question into Google, your answer comes up on a blog post, or it comes up on a YouTube video, and you might watch a YouTube video, and you can do exactly the same thing, and you can be the answer to the questions that your clients are asking when you're using YouTube. Okay, so whatever question they may be asking, and I'd love to hear in the chat any questions that they may be asking. Let's have a look. Any questions? I want to see some questions from you. What kind of questions do you ask? Do your clients ask you that they may be searching for on Google? So if I give you an example, they might look at, if we typed how to, okay, here we've got a few suggestions coming up. How to make Instagram Reels, how to reinvent yourself, whatever it may be. Okay, so all of those how-to questions that pop up. Now, what you can do is whatever topic, and I'm going to look at the topics that you put into the chat, and I'm going to see, let's see some questions.
Yeah, just we have Heather's that's posted a number of, she's basically been spending on campaigns on her IG accounts, she mentioned, and then she's also done email campaigns. So maybe we can get some input from Heather. It's been good to see her participating and giving some input, or any other of our viewers who can give some input.
Yeah. Okay, so I would love to know what your business is about, so then we can just think what kind of question people are asking. So whether it's because what we want to be doing is answering a question that your ideal clients are looking for. Okay, so for example, if we were, I'm going to take one of these topics we've got here, how to get fit. Okay, how to get fit at home. Okay, so when we type that in to the chat, we've got all of these different suggestions of what to do. Now, if we did the same thing with, you could also, so you can do that on Google, the same kind of question that people are asking. Now, this website here is called answerthepublic.com, and it's a really amazing resource where you can find the kind of questions that your clients are searching for. So if we were to type in that same topic, and we could write, let's put in fitness. And if we just put the word fitness, and we'll see what comes up. And it gives us tons of ideas of the kinds of questions that people are searching for on Google. So it takes a moment to come through, but we'll get some ideas for some questions that you can answer in your YouTube videos. Okay, so here's some questions. So if you were a fitness coach or a health coach, you could be asked, so are fitness trackers worth it? Fitness watches, so all about those fitness things, trackers, how fitness affects mental health, how fitness is important, why fitness is important in our life. So it's the same topic, but it's given us 134 different questions that are the most popular questions being asked into Google. Okay, and so when people are typing a question into Google, these are the kind of questions that they are asking. So it can give you some inspiration and some ideas for the kind of content you might want to create.
So Lucy, just to kind of rebound off that. So what you're telling us here is that we really need a starting point for our content creation, for our interaction with our users, and that should be basically the kind of questions, the kind of problems that they are trying to solve. And if we can find the queries on that, we have a good starting point.
Yes. So any kind of questions, so you think of the kind of questions that your ideal client is asking. So you just want to take one word for answer the public, because it works better with one word. And this is free, so you get 3 searches per day if you just register. Then there's a paid for version. You don't need the paid for version, you can just use the free version. And so as you can see with fitness, you could, it could be other topics, whatever it may be. You could use fitness, you could do health as a topic. It could be about business, it could be anything that your clients are asking, your ideal clients. What kind of questions are they asking? Because what you're wanting to do is find them so that they find your content in seeking a solution. And so they're going to find you on your blog post or on your YouTube video. Okay. So when they're typing in the question, they will then go back to, so if we go back to my channel, they'll then, for example, here, they'll have whatever, topic they are asking, how to build an evergreen sales funnel. Mm-hmm. And then my video will pop up along with other videos, and then they'll choose which one they want to watch. So it's a way of you getting found through SEO, through search engine optimizations. You get found through Google. And when you get found through Google, because they're finding your content, they're searching for it, they view you as an expert. And so this means that it gives you that, it makes you into an expert in the way that you might not have felt like an expert before. And so it means that they watch that video. So let's say, for example, they've searched on Google, they found your video, they're watching your video. So I'm just going to make sure I've muted this video. And they're going to watch the video. We're not going to watch all of me waffling on, but so they see the video. Now, this is where the magic is, because in the video, you can then be talking about a freebie, a lead magnet. Mm-hmm. You've all seen them where people say, oh, click below to download my free guide to, or my template to help you do this, or my meditation, my free meditation, or my recipe guide. So it can be any kind of freebie that suits your business. And so when you have that, then they can click below. And what happens is they might not do it straight away, but with the power of YouTube, they might watch one video and then YouTube may suggest another video. And before they know it, they've binged on your content. They've watched maybe 3 or 4 of your videos. I had an email from someone who said, oh, I watched your videos while I'm on the running machine, or, so at the gym on the treadmill, or, and so people, they're watching your content, and then they go to the next stage. And so you're taking them to the next stage without selling to them. You're just saying, oh, if you want, you can be talking about the topic. So it's got to be related to the video. And you can then say, oh, if you want more help with this, I've got a free guide that's going to help you. And I'll show the example that I will do. So for this one, I'll be talking about sales funnels, and I will say, oh, check out my easy launch plan below. And I'll say, click the link below.
From the lead magnet, you're giving real value. And then at the same time, you're creating stickiness on your site, and you're also creating confidence from people that are visiting, because they're getting some kind of a value. So they already have some kind of a confidence in you, because you're giving them real value for free. It's not like you kind of drawing them in for nothing. That's not going to help them. So would
exactly.
you say that?
Yeah. So it's useful content. So they're learning something. They're finding more out, and so because they are gaining from you and they feel like, you're giving to them, then they want to progress to the next stage. And so then you can use the email to be selling. And we're going to go through that. So what would happen is they would go to, and I'll just show you this example here. So you'd say, oh, check out my easy launch plan. And then they would go and click on the link to get it. So when they click on the link, they then enter their email details. So you capture their email address, and then they will, and then from that, they're on your email list. And remember, it's much, much easier to sell on email than it is on social media. But you need to be nurturing your people on email. And so once they've clicked, they've put in their details, then they're going to, on the back of this, it goes to a sales page. So you can have a quick sale straight away. So it can then sell something really quickly on the back, and you're selling. So I sell a course on the back of that straight away. And so it means that you can be selling, from capturing that email. And you can be selling different products and then take them into an email sequence where you're selling to them again. But that's sort of the end result, but I'm going to take it back a few paces. Okay, so remember we were choosing our topics so you can get some ideas for your video content. And then at the same time as you creating your video content, you want to think, okay, what is my freebie that is related to that content? What's my lead magnet related to that content? And so a quick way for you to create a lead magnet. So you've got, as you can see, it's very simple, the opt-in design. You don't need to make it overcomplicated. And you can use ChatGPT to help you to create a lead magnet. And so what I've done here is I've set this all up, and I'm just going to show you. So we're going to put in, so the first thing you can do is get ChatGPT to help you with creating the video topics. So we've got the ideas from Answer the Public. We can also use ChatGPT. So I'm going to say, give me 10 viral YouTube topics on, and we'll give the topics about fitness and fitness for women in their 40s. Okay, so, and it will literally give me 10 ideas for ideas for content. And you can use that same phrasing just to basically to ask ChatGPT to give you some ideas for your YouTube content. And so these are viral video titles, and so you can use those as a way to get started when you think, I don't know what to talk about on YouTube. This can give you some ideas. Okay. So once you've got your ideas, you also need to make sure you've got your lead magnet, because you want them to be interconnected. So I've got my next ChatGPT window open, and we're going to do the same thing. So write a blog post about, so we're going to take that same topic of, we said, fitness for women in their 40s. So I'm going to say, we're going to do, here's a blog post. Now we're going to turn the blog post into our lead magnet. And so we can tell ChatGPT, we can give it some instructions to make it fun and interesting or whatever, but it's giving you some ideas. And you can basically take this, you might want to rewrite it in your words, but it might give you a structure to overcome that kind of procrastination, and it will give you a structure for that lead magnet. And once you've got that, I mean, it's obviously creating that very, very quickly. And so once you've got that, you can then turn that, you can rewrite that so it's in your words, your emotions, and the way that you speak, make it, add some personality to it, run sort of just ChatGPT speak, but it's a great starting point. Then you can take that template, and Canva has all of these free workbook templates. Okay, so you can use this to create. So if we took this one, and you could literally customize this design and use this as your design for your lead magnets. And so I've tested this out, and you can literally build a lead magnet in about from end to end, so from opt-in page right through to the design in about 2 hours with the help of AI, with the help of Canva. And so it means that there's no excuse for you not to do this, so that you can be using your videos to then generate the leads. Because what you want to do is take people off social media and onto your email, because your email is actually one thing that you own. Your email is the thing that is going to generate revenue for you, because it's much easier to sell on email than it is to sell on social media. Okay, so once you've created your workbook and you've done it, and you can, build from there. So then you're going to have within your video, you're going to then be saying, have your video about whatever it may be, your topic. And then you're going to say, check out the link below to get my free workbook or my fitness guide or my meditation or whatever it may be. And they're going to get that, so they'll click on the link. And so that's one way of getting people onto your email list. The other way that you can use your YouTube video to also get found through Google search is by embedding your video into a blog post. So you can take that same content and turn it. So I use my, so I've got my YouTube video, and the description that I write in my, you've got description here that I write in the description below the YouTube video. I turn that into my blog post. So as you can see, here's the blog post. And so blog post on my website that I then can put pins on. So it goes on to Pinterest. And so it's all helping me to get found. So it helps the blog post to get found. So it's using the same, so it's taking that same content, nothing new, and then also taking the videos. So it's putting the videos and the blog post. So it's just reusing that same content. But the purpose of it is to get people onto your email list, because that's where you can sell. But it's quietly selling. It's not, and these same pieces of content, the blog post, can stick around for 10 years and be your most popular content. Like my most popular YouTube videos are 5 years old, but they still sell for me because people are still searching for that content. And so it all comes down to having your YouTube video, which then has on the back of it, you are talking about your lead magnet. But you don't have to overthink the lead magnet. You can do it in 2 hours, like end to end, like design it, create the lead magnet, and then on the back you can easily have something where you can then be talking about it within your videos. So it makes it super, super easy. And then from that you can be selling straight away. So you've got the lead magnet. And once they get it, then you're going to be selling to them. And then you build a sequence of emails where you're selling to them, where you drip those emails and sell over, a period of days. And then it might be you're selling different offers and maybe one-to-one services and different ways of working with people. And so sorry, yes.
No problem, that's great. Listen, so in fact, the idea is to get content which gives you some kind of a digital presence, and then to generate from the content some kind of a long tail where the content can, like you say, generate further revenue by the triggers that you put in place with your lead magnet, which will automatically get you people to come to your giveaway, and then to your email, and keep the system turning over. And do we need to find some way in the SEO to update the searches on our videos? Do we need to change the descriptions on our videos, or do you leave it in there just kind of in the sum of what's happening on the search side?
So it's worth, it might be worth pinning a comment. So the comments that you pin are of your lead magnet, so the link to your lead magnet. So it's really searchable. It's, you know, it's there, it's obvious. It might be worth thinking of, you know, making sure that the lead magnet is, you know, within your YouTube channel. That's the thing that they're going to see to click on. So, you know, making it as visible as possible within your YouTube videos so that people see it. And, you know, within the description, it could be the first sentence that you have so that they go to that straight away, and then they might read the rest of the description. But it's really capturing it as much as possible. And within your website, where you're embedding that video, it's again getting found through Google search. And then it might be there's a pop-up where people, you know, after 5 seconds, 3 seconds, a pop-up comes up with something that is a lead magnet that is relevant to the blog post. If it's totally irrelevant, the two things, there's a disconnect. But if it's relevant and it's helpful, then there's a synergy and people are more likely to sign up.
Perfect. So that's I think it's important is to note that the comments themselves can be good references for SEO and keep things turning over as well.
Yes, yeah, and exactly, and so the more comments you get, you know, that Google says, oh, this article's, you know, something that people want to find, and that will help drive SEO search as well. So, you know, all of those comments really help. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay, so, and the other thing to say with kind of thinking of your content on for YouTube, obviously I chose fitness, which is a massive topic, and it probably has, I don't know how many searches on Google, we should have a look, probably like, I know, 350 billion or something. But if you choose a smaller topic, so you know how I niche down to say fitness for women in their 50s or 40s or whatever it may be. So niching down within, so making it a smaller pool of people will help you to get found within a very narrow niche. So the more niche you can be, the easier it is to sell, because the easier it is to stand out. So don't worry about feeling like, oh, I want to appeal to everyone. Actually, by being niche, it will really help you. Okay, so I'm aware that I need to go to the next thing that I was talking about. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to go to, just checking you can see that. Yeah, okay. So we're going to now go from YouTube into making money with Reels on Instagram. Okay. And so, so from this is again, you know, you're using your video content, but it's thinking of it differently, thinking of ways that you can, you know, really make money without it appearing that you're making money and selling. So if you feel awkward about selling and you feel awkward about the whole like, oh, buy this thing from me, then this is a kind of quiet way to be selling without people actually realizing that you're selling. And so the thing is that, you know, Instagram has changed, and Instagram has changed because of TikTok. And people are wanting, you know, they're wanting that the same TikTok feed where it's like the, you know, discovery feed, and you've got all of that content that is popping up in your face, and you're just, you know, passively ingesting in that content of whether it's Fit Waffle or whoever it may be. And so in this instance, Instagram is trying to do the same thing. And so they are sharing your content, not with your followers, but with new audiences. And so it's random people who are seeing your reels. It's no longer just your audience. And so if it's random people who are seeing your content, they are a cold audience. They don't know you. And so if they are kind of just them being sold out, where you're saying, buy my thing, then they're going to be turned off by that, because that's not going to appeal to them. And so selling in the traditional way no longer works on Instagram, but you can do it quietly. Okay, so we're going to talk about that easy, quieter way to sell. And so because you're going to the cold audiences and you're wanting to bring back some of the audience that you already have, you need to entertain them. But at the end of your reel or in the reel, you can say something like, oh, comment the word, whatever your word may be, below. So it might be fitness, it might be recipe, whatever whatever your niche is. So it might be one word that they comment below. And the reason this matters is because as soon as they comment that one word, you can use software from a company called ManyChat, where when you write the word fitness or whatever it may be below, it automatically triggers an email, a conversation in your Instagram DMs. And so ManyChat was around, about 5-6 years ago now. I remember using it, and at the time, and it was it wasn't as integrated and smooth as it is now. And basically, it is an automated chat system. So you can basically set up a bot to have a conversation, and you can then process that conversation and create that conversation to capture email addresses. And by capturing those email addresses, or by selling your products, you can drive more sales and more conversions on your Instagram or Facebook Reels. And so this is a great way for cold audiences to go from watching that reel to actually commenting below to then actually being part of your email list. And you are doing that simply through a reel, simply through entertaining them. So for example, you might have a call to action on your reel. So I've got one where you comment the word launch. So there's me on my reel looking particularly flattering, and then you comment the word launch below. And by doing that, you automatically get a sequence of conversation in the DMs. And so that conversation triggers, about finding out your name, who you are, and also your email. So then I capture someone's email address and then find out a bit more about them. So we can then work out what they're interested in. So which digital products that I'm selling they're interested in. And you can sell different products to suit whatever they may say. So it may be they're interested in kids' clothes, or if you have a range of different products and you sell women's clothes or men's clothes or kids' clothes, you can then streamline them into a particular area of your business. And those DM conversations, you can capture the email addresses. And so once you're selling to them on email, it becomes so much easier to have those conversations. And you're starting a conversation. Obviously, this is an automated system. So you don't want to make it too much chat because it becomes annoying. But what you can do is by starting a conversation, and then maybe you can follow up the conversation and it's more personalized. But you've started the conversation, and you've taken somebody from being just a passive viewer into an active, interested person interested in what you have to offer. And it means that you can grow your email list and you can then sell to them, because email is such a great strategy to sell. Because on average, the average return on sales from email is $38 for every dollar invested. So it's a huge benefit by using email. And by making it simple, not using, so it means that you're going from social media, you're using social media to attract people into your world, but then you're taking them into email in order to sell. You can certainly try and sell on social media as well, but it's much harder to sell on social media. And it's easier to sell through the kind of quietness of email. And it has a much higher return on investment than other marketing strategies. And the reason why is that you think about it, you open your email multiple times a day. You are looking at your email like throughout the day in a way that you might not always be looking at social media. People, when they're in, on a work day, they'll be looking at their email, but they won't be looking at social media necessarily, because maybe, it's blocked, Facebook's blocked, or whatever it may be within their workplace.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely interesting, because at the advent of social media, before business sort of kind of found out that you have to be on social media to get attention. Social media has never been a business environment. It wasn't set out to be a business environment. Whereas email definitely has a business, aspect to it. So that really makes sense in terms of reaching out to your audience, and where the audience is active from a business perspective.
Absolutely. And we're used to buying through email. I will click on a link if there's a sale at, my favorite shoe shop or whatever it may be. I will go and, check out the shoes or check out the coats. And we're used to making purchases personally and professionally through email. And so, the stats say that 25 to 30% of sales come through email. And you can set that up and make it that's really super streamlined, super simple. But the initial entry point is your video. And so video is still really, really, really important, but you're not needing the video to sell. You're needing the video to drive leads.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, videos can still help you sell, and sales videos are phenomenal, and they're great for helping convert people. And you can certainly have a video on the back of your, on your sales page or wherever it may be, but you don't need, you want the video in the first instance to attract people into your world, and then you can sell through email.
So I just, I have a bit of a question for our audience. Is does this strategy resonate with them? Are they approaching their business model from the same perspective that you've given us, which is really to use your content to drive leads, to drive traffic to the business side, which you presented us in the mailing side of things, where we can really take it a step further and really do the conversion on the mailing in a quieter, more subdued environment without all the noise around us.
Yeah, I'd love to know whether people are doing it. It certainly makes it so much easier, because you don't have to, you set up the system. So you set up, you decide the content, you have the freebie, you set up the system, or you set up the automation on ManyChat. And that takes work, that takes effort. That's definitely a good couple of days of work. But once it's set up, then it does the work for you. You don't need to be constantly recreating that. All you need to do is think, okay, I'm going to create some more videos using that lead magnet, create some more videos where I've got that keyword and I'm plugging in ManyChat. And so it means that you're just thinking about the content rather than the sales strategy on the back. You've done the work for the sales strategy, but you're just really focusing on that one area. You're focusing on it, so it just can simplify the way that you sell.
Perfect. And I think that's what we've seen today that you've shared with us is, how to set up your sales strategy, your funnel, how to put it into place, what tools we can use to leverage the content that we want to have, appearing to drive the traffic. And then, the process. We're starting there, creating a content. Then we're checking, before we're creating a content, we're checking what are relevant topics that we want to discuss in the content, so that it's relevant for social media, that it's relevant for the audience. How to set that up, how to drive it, which tools we can use in AI, different things, ManyChat for different social media, to leverage the message that we're getting across, and then bringing it across to our YouTube, where we can give some kind of an added value and start creating a relationship with the person. Once he's on confidence, hopefully then we can start converting, making sales from there.
Yeah, and it just makes it, because it's kind of quieter, it's less stressful. It means that you don't have to be working in the business all the time. And that's why, for me, I can work 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, and not have to worry that I'm not on it all the time, and because the videos are doing the talking for me, and I've got a sales system selling in the background.
And also in terms of monitoring the activity on the accounts, what do you recommend? Do you recommend monitoring certain aspects on your social, or monitoring the activity, clicks on mails or clicks on pages? Like how much time do you spend monitoring the activity, or the tools that you're using for monitoring the activity?
So I will definitely look at, conversion rates. I'll look at the conversion rates of my sales pages, and there's software that you can use to kind of look at conversion rate on a sales page. And so if the conversion rate isn't that high, I will look at how can I tweak this? How can I change this? So for example, I had one of my sales pages was kind of a pink background, and my brand is pink, in case you hadn't guessed. And and basically we changed the color of the background from pink to white, and sales increased by 2%. Now, 2% sales increase doesn't sound like a massive increase, but when you're selling, drip, drip, drip of courses every single day, that, was a significant chunk of change. So I was selling about, at the time, it was like about $35,000 of this particular course through this sales page a month. So if you've got that, you're selling 35,000, and then suddenly you add on 2%, that is a good increase in revenue. And so you can then start thinking, what other tweaks do I need to make? So that's where, whether it's that particular, whether it's through looking at your conversion of your sales page, looking at the conversion of your opt-in, and then also the videos, looking at what videos worked, what videos got lots of views, which ones didn't. So then okay, so people are interested in this topic. I'm going to double down on this topic. And so they're obviously, this opt-in is the most popular. More people have signed up to this opt-in than the other opt-in. And you can always do a split test with opt-ins. And, software like ClickFunnels, you can do split testing of sales pages and opt-in pages to choose which is the best one. But once it might be that you test out, because it's so quick to make opt-ins now, that you could, test out which one is the most popular. And once you know that, you can be running ads to that. You could be, just really saying, right, I'm going to run ads to that reel, and then that works. You could be running ads to that YouTube video, and then from that driving people to look at whatever opt-in it may be. And so that can work really well as a strategy. Another strategy, which I haven't talked about today, which we could do another day, is quizzes. And so quizzes, which are really, it's another opt-in, it's another method. Quizzes have an amazing conversion rate. And again, you present a problem, and then you're offering your courses as a solution. And so, you can present, bespoke solutions to whatever problem they may have, and then sell on the back. It's all about getting people onto your email list and selling on the back, but using video to get them there.
So you basically continually learning from the content that you've created, tweaking the content, focusing, deepening this on your niche that you've created, from there, and learning about your audience more as you go along. You find that as you go along, the learning curve reduces, and you can actually create more pertinent content quicker and
Yeah, absolutely. And ChatGPT also really helps, because ChatGPT is, it just speeds up everything. Yeah. So, before I would spend, I'd be having notes on my phone of, let's create some topics. And then I'd then go and research and, do SEO research on these topics to, make sure it was a long tail keyword. Now I just use ChatGPT. So it just, so it solves all of that, makes it so much quicker, that process. But then also, if you're feeling stuck for ideas when you're making your video, I will batch my content and make a ton of videos in one day. And by the end of the day, I'm brain dead. And so I'll be like, I can't remember what I'm talking about now. And so I will basically think, okay, what am I talking about? I'll ask ChatGPT, and it will give me 5 bullet points about that topic.
Yeah.
And then and then of course, that's my notes. So I'm not reading word for word what ChatGPT says, because it's a bit boring and a bit Alexa speak, but I'm using it to kind of give me a framework, give me some ideas.
Right. And we actually very much align with that in terms of the content itself. Once once we've used your technique to find out what are the topics and what are the subjects of interest that we should be talking about, we have AI tools ourselves where you can actually use AI to create your script, to tone brand your script personally for you. So it doesn't sound like a generic AI, which means that there's another step involved in the creation of the content to leverage the time taken to write scripts, make the content, and then, just have to kind of record the video, learn a little bit about presentation skills in front of the camera and that, and then you can kind of plug that into the whole strategy that you've laid out to us.
And that's where, so having, particularly, so I really say having a script is brilliant for sales videos. So when you're at the point where, so you've got your YouTube video at the beginning, but when you're at the point where they're on the sales page, you can have a sales video. And if you suck at selling in a kind of, you might get nervous, you're intimidated, whatever it may be, you can then use that system to create a sales video. So you practice it, you get it absolutely perfect, you have the right script, and then you are using that to sell. And that video, it's a minute long, 30 seconds long, it might be 15 minutes long, but that can be your strategy to sell. And so in using that, then that's done the talking for you as well. So you've kind of taken people from the non-salesy video in the beginning to they've joined your email list, and then you're selling to them through video, but you're doing it in a way where they're completely hooked into you because they've watched some videos, they've got to know you, and and from that they've also then they're ready to buy because they're kind of primed to buy. They've gone through all the process.
Yeah, and speaking about the magnets, I just wanted to remind our audience that we have a super giveaway which Lucy has graciously offered us, and we're gonna put that into the chat now. I think maybe Bruno's already posted into the chat, or if not, he'll post it into the chat at the moment. And then just to give us a little bit of a background about people that want to reach out to, want to learn a little bit about setting up their own strategy, and that what's the best way to reach you, if that's via your LinkedIn or at your website. What would be the best way? What would you like to recommend for people that are looking to get something set up simply and don't have money to put into a digital strategy plan or something like that? What would your recommendation be?
So I'm always on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place that I hang out a lot. I love YouTube, and I definitely create videos for YouTube, and I love YouTube. But my sort of social media is LinkedIn. So would love to connect on LinkedIn. And I think LinkedIn is a really good place to where you can connect with, in a B2B environment, with professionals who have money. So it's definitely a really good place to, if you're wanting a social media platform. And the good thing about LinkedIn, and it's coming, is that there is a new sort of, it's going to be like Reels on LinkedIn, and it's coming really soon. So,
so there's a hot tip for you all, is that LinkedIn can
yeah. So, and start creating that content ready. You can repurpose your TikTok reel and your TikToks, your Instagram, your Facebook reels, and you can use them on LinkedIn, and it's coming really soon. So that's something that they're wanting to create, that new search feature in the future. It's
and it seems to be weeks evolution, to move it to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a business channel. We've been moving business to social media. Maybe it's time for social to come to business.
Yeah, and I think LinkedIn, so I've been really focused on LinkedIn the last 2-3 years now, and LinkedIn is a really great place to connect. And even if you feel like, oh, I'm not a business owner that sort of talks to other business owners, I'm a health coach, or I'm in fitness, or whatever it may be, it's still a really good place to do business, because actually at the end of the day, business people are humans, and they are looking for solutions, and they have money. And because they're more professionals, they are less hobby businesses, less time wasters, and they're more professionals. So I'd say it's a really good place to invest your energy. And the great thing about LinkedIn is that a tiny fraction of people actually post on LinkedIn. Most people are just lurking. So they're looking while they're, on their lunch break at work, or, they're procrastinating to avoid actually doing some work while at work, and they're on LinkedIn. And so you can attract them. And it's much easier to build a following on LinkedIn than it is anywhere else. So I'd really recommend, if you're kind of struggling with social media, have a look at LinkedIn and invest some energy on LinkedIn. And you can sell from it. You can use your videos through it. And, but it's really going to be the next place to go and look at from a video perspective.
Fantastic. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to post into the chat once again for your giveaway and really connect with you. And we've really enjoyed having you on board today. We've learned a lot, and we're sure that people that reach out to are going to learn a lot. And really, I think your initial message comes back is that you really gave us simple solutions to problems that people are having in what could appear to be a complicated world, and to free their time up to spend more time with family and on business. And I hope that people manage to do that. It's a great and altruistic motivation for being in business, is to enable people to make their living and still enjoy being with their families. So thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was great to be here.
Our pleasure. So we look all forward to having our audience back again. For next week, we have another workshop coming up as well. So we look forward to having you back then. And Lucy will definitely be back with us in the future. So firstly, reach out to privately. The video will be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can, those of you that didn't manage to get up in time, feel free to check it out. It should be posted soon on our YouTube channel. And thanks very much to Bruno on the back end, who always keeps us turning over and keeps us from having any glitches. We appreciate that. So thanks, Lucy. Thanks, Bruno, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Videos you're proud of. Easily trim your video by selecting the words where you want to start and end. Color your presentation with automatic subtitles and highlighting keywords. Add your brand logo. Add music for an emotional touch. Add your contact info on an animated business card on all your videos. Easily replace green screen with an image or a video loop. Stand out with a web page with your logo, your video at the center, and personalized button for visitors to interact. It's one tap to simultaneously upload your videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Always know what to say next with the Big View